I was born in Huntington Park, California. It's a small community, or used to be a small community, about 10 miles southeast of Los Angeles. There was no hospital at the time I was born, so I was born in what was called a laying-in home, following a 48-hour labor with a breech birth. But I made it. My father came from, John Herbert, came from Ligonier, Pennsylvania, and he was born in 1901. My father was a certified public accountant. He worked for the M.H. Sherman Company for many, many years and then went into business for himself. I think I took after my father. Figures and things of that kind are down my alley. My mother, Helen Risheberger, was born in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, in 1900 at 9th and Broadway. She was a stay-at-home mother. However, she had graduated with a degree in music from USC and taught music in the Los Angeles schools for, well, until before I was born. After that, she taught the church choir and the chorus. My mother and my sister were both quite artistic. Mother, of course, both music, and all of the needle points you see around the house here are things that she has made, including the ones out in the hallway. She started doing needlepoint somewhere probably in her 80s, as I recall. I think probably the person with the greatest influence in my life was my maternal grandmother. Oh, this was taken on my grandmother's 100th birthday. It was taken at the family home in Laguna Beach, and all of the 3 generations of the family, with one exception, were present. She's a lady who lived to be 102 years old. Came cross-country from Ohio, she and her husband, by covered wagon. And she was a teacher who started her own school in Huntington Park because there was no school in Huntington Park. And when her 3 children were of school age, she put up a 2-room school in the backyard of her house and continued there for over 40 years. And her school was a 2-room, 8th-grade school. I went to school there for the first 4 years, and I can remember sitting in between the 2 rooms on her lap and her teaching me Spanish. Now, this was the lady who went to Oberlin College, which at that time was a 2-year college, and went on from there, and she took all of the difficult children from the local public schools and made human beings out of them, believe it or not. Okay. I'd like very much to share with you a few of the things that I treasure. My maternal grandmother, at 91, took up china painting. And this is one of the pieces that she did for me. And it is even signed on the back. So it's quite an heirloom. You know, she took lessons and she painted a number of pieces. I have a few, and all of the grandchildren got pieces and so on. I went to Huntington Park High School, graduated in 1946, had been involved in a number of activities. Swimming was a particular highlight for me. I also swam at the end of or just before the end of the war, with the Southern California Aquabelles, and we did USO shows at that time. I also was into the choir and the Latin Club and a few other things. Let's see, at that point, I think Frankie Lane had visited our school, actually, and sang for us, and Glenn Miller and Benny Goodman, and these were all popular at the time, as were drive-ins and the local slock shop. The big thing was TV. That was a big day when we got TV. I can remember the first set that my father brought home had about a 4-inch screen, I think, as I recall, black and white. And you had to set it up in front of a window where you could get the antenna to go so that you'd have a picture for 5 minutes. It was fun. I went to University of Southern California, graduated the first time in 1950 and the second time in 1968. Actually, the class that I graduated from USC was the biggest class they'd ever graduated, even to this day. And it was because of many of the returning servicemen who'd started in 46 and finished in 50. He actually graduated in the Coliseum. There wasn't space for us anyplace else. Okay, I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Education and started to work LA City Schools. I managed to buy my first car because I had to have a car in order to get to work. That was part of the ball game. And as I said, I continued to go to night school and summer school. I also taught swimming in night school in a junior college, and worked for LA City Schools for 40 years. I started teaching at Garfield High School, and that was an interesting. I lasted there about a year, and I had been teaching night school, and they wanted me to come there, so I moved over to Metropolitan Junior College at that time, and worked there for a while, and then I did some substitute teaching. That was at a time when teachers were not needed, and ended up at Lafayette Junior High School, which was in downtown LA behind the old Coca-Cola bottling company. It was an all-black community. We had what we called a foreign adjustment class, which was Spanish-speaking children. Primarily, I started teaching in physical education, but somehow I got involved in math, and I taught a foreign adjustment math class where the kids were everywhere from probably first grade level to college level as far as abilities were concerned. But I enjoyed it thoroughly, and hopefully I did some good sometimes. The friendliness of the people, of course, was the very first thing that was just stood out. And the fact that there are 9 million activities, you may do as much as you like or as little as you like. And so that was what appealed to me. I've been here 18 years and I wouldn't trade it. Never would trade it. I have spent 9 years on the council here, the executive council. And I am chair of the Health Services Committee. I belong to the Board Health Services Committee. Let's see, I'm secretary of the Finance Committee. I'm on the CASA Foundation Board and also on their number of their committees. I spent 8 years on the Rancho Bernardo Planning Board and 4 years on the Community Council. And then a lot of other things. I deliver mail in the health center and just a number of other things. A lot of, right now I'm working with an ad hoc committee on redoing our bylaws and our policies and procedures for clubs and things of this kind. So there are lots of things. Helping others is my passion. Yeah, that is the thing that I have enjoyed doing all my life, and I'm still doing it and enjoying it. I wouldn't know what to do if I couldn't help others.